Alright, what is up, guys? We're in a F-Pace SVR. Sounds pretty beefy still. Exhaust sounds pretty good. Not as aggressive as the F-Type R. I wanted to review this car, and I actually am really excited to review this car because I actually wanted to buy this car. I bought an F-Pace S, or leased an F-Pace S, knowing that after the lease, I would have been able to get like a good 17, like a 3-year-old pre-owned one for a really good price. It's a lot of car. Brand new, these are sitting about $90,000 to $100,000 if you buy the current model year. 3 years, 50% residual. Theoretically, you can get one for, let's just say, the 50s. That in itself is a pretty good deal. I mean, you get a crossover performance SUV, 550 horsepower supercharged V8, all-wheel drive, really good platform, suspension, steering, ZF 8-speed transmission. So I mean, that's a lot of, I'd say it's a lot of bang for your buck for 50s, 550 horsepower crossover. But just the platform, since it's an SVR, everything's tuned for an SVR, if that makes sense. So you got SVR suspension, everything's just more dialed in. Still sounds really good. No roll. I can feel the suspension is a lot dialed in, a lot more dialed in like my F-Pace S was. This thing is awesome. Bigger brakes, better stopping. My F-Pace had decent brake setup, but these are more of like a 6-piston Brembo setup. Awesome. That exhaust sounds pretty good though, not gonna lie. I wanted to go over the, I guess, the kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of this car, like looks wise and that kind of stuff, just to give you a breakdown on, I guess, if you're in the market for this car, what you're gonna think, or if you're just curious about this car. If I wasn't working at this place, I probably would have never heard of this car either. This, I feel like for the money, like sub 100, like 90 to 100, you're getting 550 horse. You're getting a luxury car. Could it be nicer? Yes, that's what I'm gonna go over too. I would say on the interior, I guess. Interior is nice. I guess you are mainly buying it for the platform, which I think this thing definitely delivers on. But there's some stuff that I feel like they could have maybe made it a little nicer in terms of like finishes and that kind of stuff. I feel like for a $100,000 SUV, you probably shouldn't really be looking at too much plastic. There's not a lot of plastic, but there's some around the trim, the housing, where there's plastic. Just kind of throws off that feel. I mean, you could have replaced that with like suede, which is what this whole roof is lined with, so it looks pretty sweet. Just small things though. But the drive-wise, there's really nothing to, I feel like there's nothing to nick. The downsides of the S, the trim below this one, suspension was a little soft, brakes were a little soft, and it was a little bouncy, especially around the corners. But this thing though, you can obviously tell once you start driving this thing around and taking it around. This SVR F-Pace around the corners, obviously is the acceleration, night and day between the S trim. So if you have an F-Pace right now and you're thinking you maybe want something more performant, you want something that's a lot more dialed in for that kind of driving, I would strongly suggest getting this one, whether it's new or pre-owned. It's just a completely different vehicle. It's awesome. I love it. I'm going to show you the... I got another phone call. Sorry. I'm going to show you guys the outside and then the inside of the vehicle so you can kind of get a look of what the F-Pace SVR looks like. Then I'll show you guys the differences and the good and the bad of the exterior and interior. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, it's a nice rainy day in August. I guess almost September. We're supposed to have sun for this week too, so I'm not tripping. All right, we're gonna swap over. I'll show you guys the outside.
So cross your T's and dot your
enjoyed those little snippets of the car. This is your trunk space. Pretty good depth. That guy comes out too. All right, so things I do like about this car. It's a lot more aggressive than the F-Pace S, obviously, with the quad exhaust tips. I wish that was functional. It just serves as a extra brake light housing. Would have been kind of cool to see some kind of intake for air. Things I don't like. Every single F-Pace, doesn't matter what color you get, comes with this Eiger gray, chorus gray trim around the wheel housing right here. You can see it go around there, then here. Doesn't matter what car you get or what color you get, every single one comes with that color trim. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just looks weird. Like you got this black car, and then you have this gray trim. It looks fine on the car when we get when you get the color that matches, like the gray, then it looks like it's body color. But otherwise, you get a blue one, red one, green one, black one. I feel like it looks a little out of color. I feel like when they did the black package, they should have made this trim black. So just one bad thing I would say on here. Like the heat extractors on the front. Gotta cool down the engine a little bit. The brake setup. A nice 6-piston. This obviously just looks like a Brembo. But yeah, that is the size. I mean, it's a crossover, good size, 22-inch wheels. Now we're gonna go back inside. All right, so if you look here, just small stuff, but like that's just plastic. This housing right here, all plastic. But then when you look right here, this is all leather. Obviously you got for the carbon fiber trim here, suede on top of this, all on the headliner. This whole headliner is suede. Carbon fiber trim here. That looks good. This is just a piano black veneer around that. That looks good. I just feel like around there it doesn't really fit. It should have been either leather or some kind of suede material. But I might just be nitpicking stuff. This is the In Control Touch Pro. It works fine. There's nothing special though. Most people use CarPlay anyways, or Android Auto. The new Defender has the Pivi Pro. Hopefully they're going to adapt everything over to there, because Pivi Pro is night and day to what we currently have. Obviously you got your 12.3-inch virtual display here. If you look closely, boom, you can see heads-up display a little bit. You got your nice SVR sport seats. They're pretty comfortable. They're not like race seats or anything. Not super cushiony, but they're still pretty comfortable. There's still good support. Doesn't feel like you're in like a race seat or anything. Oh, going down this super steep driveway. Even on this SUV, I'm scared. It literally just goes straight down though. Whoever designed that thing, if you look in the concrete, there's so many scratches and cracks out of there from people bottoming out there. Anyways, that is my review on the 2020 F-Pace SVR. Not a lot of bad things, just some honestly cosmetic stuff on the exterior and the interior. For if you're going to be paying $100,000 for a new one, if it's when you get it on the pre-owned market, whatever it is, what it is. But just from a new aspect, if you are kind of looking for those kind of details, I think you would notice that too. In terms of the drivability though, like what I said before, awesome car. It truly is like a performance SUV. And anyone familiar with that or that gets a chance to drive that, I think you would agree with me too. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys like the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. trying to grow my channel. Want to do big things. Eventually make this into my business, but you got to put the time into it, which I'm prepared to do because I feel like this would be a fun profession to go into. Obviously, I want to start customizing my car. Obviously, that takes a lot of money to start, buying cars for your channel, modifying them, whatever, that kind of stuff. But I could definitely see myself doing that in the future. So if you guys support, I would appreciate it. Subscribe button's right over there, right down there. I appreciate all of you guys who have been slowly subscribing to me. I'm at 29 right now. It's a lot for me. I remember when I started it out, I sat at like 3, and it was my friends who knew I was starting a YouTube channel. So I know everyone else is hopefully seeing the channel, liking some of the content. So I appreciate it. Anyways, have a good day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.